Live?
Let me live my life, old man.
Hey, listen, I just want to call out one person.
And I hate myself a lot.
But you're getting punched in the dick. There needs to be more Street Shark references. I say who? That's funny as hell.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Underqualified and Overcompensated Podcast.
That's
your
our
longest
name.
but most beautiful podcast name. It fully encompasses us as a whole.
Yes.
If you are new to listening, we haven't explained the name in a while. Underqualified, because who really is qualified to just speak into the interwebs?
No one.
Not a fucking soul. Unless you have 4 doctorates on one topic, you're quasi qualified. And overcompensated because I get paid too much to speak into a microphone.
And that's $0, people.
Right? I meant my day job pays
okay.
for me
Yeah.
to speak into a microphone to be underqualified. I am your host with the least most roads. I look like a balding, cancer-ridden. I just look like a cancer-ridden, like Mr. Clean, really. That's just kind of.
We just gotta get rid of the eyebrows to really like set it in.
Yeah, no, he has eyebrows. They're just white.
But he doesn't. He's healthy. He's a beautiful male. You're saying that you have cancer. It's
Oh,
time to get rid of those
yeah.
brows.
See, no, but people with cancer have eyebrows, just not if they're doing chemo.
Exactly.
I've settled with death. I'll keep my hair and die silently, like a man.
Keep all my eyebrows.
I'll just keep my eyebrows. And to my left, your right, in the virtual world, the ever beautiful, the ever bold, never the beast, Rico.
Oh, hey, I'm Rico. Thanks for joining us today.
And speaking of glorious eyebrows,
we
both have very nice eyebrows.
I have not. I'm embarrassed to say I haven't trimmed mine in a while. It's
Did you pluck your eyebrows?
I've gotten pretty good with
them up, because I have a unibrow, so I have to.
I've gotten pretty good with like a Mach 5, just doing with a Mach 5.
Ooh, that's fucking one slick pull. That's
it's ballsy to take 5 razors to like less than a millimeter. Like
that is super ballsy. I go at it and I take some time and I tweeze that.
That is an aggressive chest checkers board.
Yeah, it's Ron Weasley, eat your heart out. Fucking come at me, bro. I'm trying to be better at podcasting, do a better sound thing. So I got some on the other wall as well for some ricochet. I think it sounds a little bit better in here. Ultimately, besides my desk, this is just a real big empty room. So I think I just need more shit in this room.
that would help.
I need to get like a rug and some bookcases and shit. I don't know, make it look like someone smart lives in here. Just
See,
to, like,
what I
deceive
did,
people.
For those at home, all that shit on the walls, it's something to be there to look at, barely. However, it's to break up that dead space, and that big black abyss over there. That's nothing but a giant fucking photo backdrop filled with fucking foam panels behind it.
Did you put it on the door?
Oh yeah, that's a garage door, ladies and gentlemen.
You wouldn't know. That is the nicest garage. And people that know us, me and Rico, we've always liked to have chill garages, right?
Yes.
Because we smoke, and where we have lived in the past is cold as fuck in the winter. And who wants to go have a cigarette when it's 5 degrees outside? And so, in order to help our habit, we've always had couches, TVs, Xboxes in our garages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I haven't done that here, but I definitely remember Utah. We all had garage setups that were just peaceful.
We all had some pretty nice garage setups. Like Sherry, she had that fucking hippie corner with the beanbag chairs and the fucking black light. Yeah. I just had a huge entertainment center with a fucking gigantic sectional. and a nice coffee table. You know, all
Yeah.
secondhand. All secondhand. Pretty sure one of them had mice in it.
I thought they were massage chairs.
Yeah, if you slap it, it turns on high.
High and aggressive. Scratchy, some might
Yeah.
say.
And I think, Rico,
Little bitey.
one of your chairs was a stack of tires.
No, in Utah, the stacks of tires, they were truck tires, but I was utilizing them as coffee tables.
High class. Like we're back in college. But back to the eyebrow thing, just real quick, because I have a quick side note. So I do trim mine, but I mostly just worry about the middle. Because I have a unibrow, right? There are very old pictures of my great grandma Munger, which is my blood line up, not the Rhodes, right? Not my blood name. The Roricks into the Mungers, and my great grandma.
These are not real names.
Well, my great grandma, she has a solid fucking eye. Dude, like, there's a picture of her and all of her kids, and just boom, clear across, because this is the early 1900s, and she didn't give a fuck. Like, just
what's the band name? Ramball, the Roricks,
the radioactive Dugway mice.
Oh, the radioactive Dugway mice. That's probably better. The Roricks and the Mungers is a folk band.
Not a good one. They all just got unibrows. But because of that, I also have a very aggressive unibrow. And it took me too long into high school to realize that shit needed to be trimmed. After like enough girls teased me about it, and I was like, oh, that matters. Okay. So I just trim the middle, but like, and then every so often I'll get like these, like half of my eyebrows are blonde. So I'll get these random fucking stray blonde ones, and I'll pick them off. And no one's ever commented on my eyebrows before, because they're normal guy eyebrows. I get comments on my eyelashes. Because like most men, I have long eyelashes, and women are very jealous of that,
just
right?
Generally jealous of.
Yes.
Like, we can't help it. Why are you trying to copy our fucking eyelashes?
Why are you trying to appropriate my eyebrow, my eyelashes?
This is my culture.
Since I moved to Texas, right? The percentage of older Black women who have commented on my eyebrow game has skyrocketed.
That's how you know you're winning.
Yeah, and by skyrocketed, I meant all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, became a thing. Like, working in the hospital, I'm, we're in Texas, so it's much more demographically diverse than, let's say, Idaho.
Especially in a military town, because people are coming from all over the place.
Yeah. And so I work with a lot of African-American women, and some older, some my age, but pretty much every single one that I've worked with at every clinic that I moved to, they have at least once or twice commented on my eyebrows. And like, we'll just be working. They look at me, they're like, wow, your eyebrows are really nice. Do you trim those yourself? I'm like, thank you. Yeah. What? I do nothing to these. I just wake up and my eyebrows piss excellence, people.
Excellence.
But the rest of my face, it needs to pick up its game. My eyebrows, though, my eyelashes, fucking on point.
Face game weak, eyebrow game strong.
And for some odd reason, with this background, my eyes look beautiful. look at these.
You're definitely on a cool tint, which is your camera's on a cool tint, and it's like making the eyes pop. And that's exactly what everybody came here for today. We should address the elephant in the room today. Tyler Firth is on mission. Super secret mission. He'll be done in 24 hours and sleeping off the day tomorrow.
Super secret mission that he got tagged for last minute to maybe sit somewhere.
At least that's what he told us. Hey, Tammy, if you're in the chat, let us know if he's bullshitting us.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, he fucked up. His boss watches us. Hey, Tammy, time him out. She's like said, it would be hilarious if she put a picture in the chat of her sitting like on the couch with him, like they're having like a platoon thing, and they're just chilling, and he's sitting there flipping off the TV, and like we're on the screen. I'll be like, "You fucker!"
Just a candid video of him saying, "Fuck those guys."
Yeah, fuck
Glad
guys.
I took today off.
Fucking hate those guys anyway. Fucking cucks. But thank you, everyone, for joining the show. As I said before, we are the underqualified and overcompensated, and we try to bring a new spin to things to you, give you information that you weren't aware of, or a thought process on something that you thought was already happening.
Or just our perspective.
Our perspective, which is generally new. All right. It's usually a little different than the general discourse that's going on. We get some good insights. So to top off right off the fucking bat, which is, it's sad that Firth isn't here because we know you all tune in for his tirades. His Tyler raids, if you will.
Ooh, Tyler raids. I'm going to make a thing for that.
Yeah. It's like Gatorade, but
angrier.
Yeah, more privilege.
More right-wing.
It's Gatorade with more privilege. January 6th. Otherwise, AKA known as the worst atrocity to happen on American soil since the War of 1812, when they burnt down the White House.
Nah, I think 1/6 was worse.
Oh, you think it was worse than 1812?
1/6 just had more velvet ropes that people would just were cautiously just going by and not walking around. However, it was obviously worse because a year plus later, we're still wasting a significant amount of fucking time trying to fucking solve this issue.
What are they trying to solve? A bunch of fucking idiots broke into a building that they weren't supposed to. And like very menacingly tried to do some shit that they weren't supposed to.
Yeah. And
a lot of them got charged for it.
Yeah. They got charged for it. Poor dude, man. Or no, not poor dude. This fucking terrorist. He petitioned the court to go.
Are you talking to the Buffalo Man?
No. Another guy. It's not the Buffalo dude. He petitioned the court to try to just go on a winter vacation with his girlfriend to Jamaica. I mean, that says right there, he obviously doesn't hate black people. He's trying to go be a tourist in a predominantly black culture.
So he's in prison.
What Bob's Burgers actor? You got to put some more in the chat in context. Hey, yeah,
the Bob's Burger actor, the main voice, the dude who's like also an Archer. And...
Yeah, if Archer died, I'm going to be really upset.
Oh,
more to follow.
Yeah. So he's in prison right now, and he tried to petition to go on vacation.
He's awaiting court dates and everything.
And he's trying to be allowed to go out of the country
for a little bit with his girlfriend to go on vacation.
Like you're not supposed to do ever.
You know what? Good for them. He's a fucking terrorist, right?
You know what? So I'm going to come back to your facetiousness in that statement here in a minute. I'm not one to pull, the white privilege card.
Okay.
But if anything says I think I'm higher than the general standard of people on criminal trial, it's let me and my wife go to Jamaica for vacation.
Girlfriend.
Oh, sorry. Let me and my girlfriend go on vacation to a foreign country. Because I'm not a threat. Like that just screams I don't know how law works. Like that just screams I'm white and I'm out of touch with reality.
No way. So
I don't know who Jimmy. I never watched Bob's Burgers.
You've never watched Bob's Burgers?
No,
so what is wrong with you?
I have watched a few episodes. I'm just not a fan of it.
I had no idea that Jimmy Pesto had been banned from the show entirely. Wow, that's interesting. I wonder if he was in character while he did it.
Bob's voice actor is just fine, ladies and gentlemen. From our animated correspondent. Thank you, Heather. But so the tone in your voice when you said terrorist,
yes,
it seemed facetious.
Did it?
It did a
Are
shot,
you sure?
Just a little
Sometimes
bit. Yeah.
I sound like that. Because according to the general mindset, we should be viewing these individuals as terrorists. Yes, some people went there and did some shitty stuff.
Yeah,
there was, maybe I'm wrong.
So was it a little bit of facetiousness? Like, you don't think that
was,
they were actually terrorists?
Let's set the record straight on that. There was some facetiousness there. And
I
yes,
really like using that word versus sarcasm.
I know if this was a shot game, somebody would already be drunk because we said it 16 times.
I love it. It makes me feel smarter. Especially when people look at me weird, like, facetious? Yeah, I'm smarter than you. I know what that means.
That said, some of the dudes, obviously, I say dudes as a general term, went there.
No, we're just talking to men.
Obviously went there with they were riled up, and they went too far. Some went too far.
Just a hair.
Others potentially I could see being swept up in the moment, but unfortunately that is still leading you into that mob mentality. And while I don't view a lot of 1-6 as a terrorist situation, I can see where they're going on some of the stuff.
Yeah, Heather, I think, Heather, some terrorists, right? Some people with malcontent that morphed into a mob mentality. There was a lot of people there that were just there, and I'm assuming a lot of them just went into the building with the mob that was going in. But then that brings the question that if you're around a group of people that are doing bad things and you stand by and watch and potentially help and assist, does that then make you as bad as those people? Right? People seem to think so during the George Floyd thing, when the other fellow officers just stood there and watched what was going on, that they were just as bad as the officer in question.
I see that differently.
That is a little bit differently, right?
I see that
more of an intense thing, right? It's
I see what you're going
for. Stand by.
I see what you're going for. However, in that scenario,
extreme example, but
while I may not care for George Floyd as a person as he existed and the actions he did throughout his life or his later life that led to whatever the fuck. Come on, we've talked about this before. That dude, he was on him too long. You had the other individual saying, hey, maybe we should move them, and that never fucking happened, and these dudes just stood around because they were basically fucking rookies. So lack of experience, lack of knowledge, but come on, you don't at any point they could have moved into the cruiser, but that's not what this show's about.
Well, no, it's not, but on that, I just not really about the whole George Floyd thing, but standing there and watching, right?
Yeah,
it's also like it's something that I fight against in the military, is that blind following of that person is a higher rank or status than me, and I can't say anything, right? I fucking hate that shit. And anyone who has known me long enough in the Army or out at this point, not earlier in my years, this is something that grew as I was in the Army, right? Knows that I don't give a fuck. It
took Rhodes some time to earn that merit badge, though. I was there when he gave a fuck.
Like I said, those that knew me earlier in my career would say differently, right? This blossomed, I think, as I saw bad leadership.
Yeah.
And I saw bad leadership, and I saw people just blindly follow, and I started thinking, I'm like, why the fuck is no one telling him that he's a fucking idiot? And then they're like, oh, well, he's this rank or this position. I'm like, but he's being a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Could we solve this? And like, yeah, but you could get in trouble. I was like, but at least I said something. Like, if I don't say anything and then I bitch about it being wrong, then the fuck? So, and that's, it's endemic in those kinds of societies, or not societies, organizations that have that rank structure, right? Anything police or, criminal justice wise, in the military, obviously. And then any other, hierarchical system, even in your corporate office, it seems like that.
Oh yeah, there's shitbags everywhere. Let's be honest.
There's shitbags everywhere, and there's people, and they're in a position of power, and they have so much power that people are afraid to say something. And that's why you always need to have at least one person like myself and or Rico, because Rico's also not afraid to say it. He just might say it a little bit more tactically than me.
I am,
depending on the situation.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. It takes me a lot to lose my shit completely. I don't know. Maybe once. Maybe once with Rhodes. Not with Rhodes, but maybe once.
Oddly enough, never lost a shit on me. Because I'm a good leader. And I listen.
But I mean, there like I said, there are shitbags everywhere. what's worse than a shit bag is a secret shit bag, and
Oh yeah.
you know that's a whole nother
By the
topic.
way, speaking of secret shit bags and shit bags everywhere, congratulations on your promotions. Secret shit bags.
Salty.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit. I didn't get any of those super nice promotions because I got fucked before. It's a thing. But congratulations to all the people who deserved to get picked up that have been waiting for fucking ever, like the rest of us, to get picked up. Congratulations on the new staff sergeants throughout the Army who got picked up. And then also congratulations to the people who got picked up who did not fucking deserve it at all. And we all know who that person is. Because that happens outside of the temporary promotion thing. Whenever someone's like, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be out of the office. You spelled that wrong.
What? Second?
Satley?
Oh shit, I did it fast.
Yeah, you did. Like we've all had that guy that comes into the office. He's like, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm not going to be in. I have ALC phase 1, so I can't be at work." And we're like, "How the fuck are you going to get promoted?" There you go. Right? We've all seen it. I just don't like bad leadership, and I don't like it when just because on paper you look good and you get promoted above people who deserve it, myself excluded, because there are other people who deserve promotion way more than me who get put on the back burner. And it's just kind of how the military works. It's just how anything works. I'm sure it works that way in the corporate world. I don't know because I've been in the Army since I was a fetus. So yeah, I'm not sure. But speaking of fetuses,
provided the stem cells. That's the basis for the fucking the corona vaccine right now.
Speaking of fetuses,
yeah,
a man that looks like one, much like that scene in Harry Potter of like baby fetus Voldemort being held by Peter Wormtail.
Okay.
Our current president of the United States.
Old Joey Big Bucks.
Old Joey Boombox.
I would have also accepted secret ship bags for 100.
Oh, I should have gone with secret ship bags.
That was the transition there, but you went to Cody's salty second.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by the fact that I didn't get promoted.
He needed to vent. Any friends of the show probably know the situation that fucked him in this scenario. But back to secret ship bags. So
speaking of fucking the people who do you good things, our president.
So
who do you good things? Did I just have a stroke?
Yeah, you did. You're still hovering. You're spiraling in that salty second there.
It's my rage spiral.
It's a salty 2 minutes now.
Please continue.
I brought this topic to the show because I was reading this, and oh man. So, are you leaving? Are you going? You're gonna go punch a wall? Damn, Kyle.
No, don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
What are you doing? How am I supposed to have a conversation without a Cody here? Oh, he's getting undressed. Hold on. This is now the only he switched over to OnlyFans. He's doing a live stream there. So I brought this topic to the show because I read a snippet of where President Joe Biden, he says he's going to match the forces of pulling out of the Ukraine area that Russia does. Now, without going into OPSEC, let's say,
which we don't know anyway.
I mean, we were obviously we don't know the current OPSEC. We know the culture when we were in Germany and we were there to support said missions, allegedly. That said,
they
obviously
definitely weren't posted in the Army Times or anything.
Let's look at this from one perspective. You have a few American bases to support that region, and you have an entire fucking country that is Russia. No, or are we gonna go 1 for 1, 1 for 10? I mean,
that was my thought when I read it. When it was like we pull out equal forces, I'm like,
is
Putin have that many people in Ukraine?
Like, how are we gonna confirm? Like, hey, Putin, I'm now Putin. This is me as Putin. Joey, I pulled out 5 people. Oh, that's great. I'm gonna pull out 5 people also. Sucker, though. I just put in 15. No big deal. I mean, that's crazy to me.
They live on the border.
They're right fucking there. Oh no,
they already own a quarter of Ukraine. They've annexed off the top half.
All these guys are on Russian bear winter leave. I mean, they're not there for mission. Come on, dude.
They're on leave, right? They took their own personal private leave to go
Yes.
be a terrorist cell in northern Ukraine.
It's just
you do.
It's insane to me to just like all the shit. This guy's been in power. He said he's gonna quit, and then he decided, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna stay in power. And like he was gonna
Been in
appoint
power for 27 years.
Sure, he was gonna appoint his fucking successor. He decided, nah, fuck that. Joey Big Box is fucking the president now. This is too easy. I don't get it, guys. I don't understand it. Like, I mean, Cody, thoughts?
So I'm kind of weird about this because I don't like seeing, atrocities going on in different countries, especially when there's a superpower basically, bullying and taking over a smaller country, like Ukraine. And it's been going on for years. Like now it's finally reached public and like fucking actual like news.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were over in Germany,
this was daily.
Yeah, they were doing this shit already. Like they're talking about it on the news. Like, oh, will we go to war with Russia over Ukraine? Will we go to Ukraine? For one, we've been there for a while now. For two, this has been going on for like 5 or 6 years.
At least.
Yes. Like Ukraine,
I'm sure as well before we were even there.
Yeah, Russia's been fucking up Ukraine little bit by little bit forever. And they've been fucking covering it up, saying it's separatists that are also Russian soldiers.
It's a Russian CIA, whatever the fucking thing is. Spetsnaz? No, that's
Russian ISIS.
Russian ISIS.
Yeah, not today, Russian ISIS. But it's been going on for a hot minute. So now all of a sudden it's in the news and people care about it. Yeah. And do I know if we would potentially end up actually going to war with Russia over Ukraine? Unless he started performing like acts of atrocities. No, I don't think we would. Right.
Okay, I'll let you keep going. I'm going to hold my thought.
Yeah. I don't think that we'll actually go to war unless like super atrocity. Like he rolls into fucking Ukraine and like just starts murking fucking civilians. Yeah. Then we're going to get involved because Ukraine's not part of the UN.
It isn't.
It's not part of NATO because we keep turning them down. You want to know why we turn them down? Because we don't want to go to war with Russia. They keep applying to be part of NATO and the UN, right? Or at least a part of NATO. So that way it could have backing from us, Germany and England and the bigger countries.
Yeah.
And we keep saying, no, we're not going to accept your application. Because if they did, we would instantaneously be pulled into a war. So no, I don't think we're gonna go to war unless he does some like super hot dog shit. But also, it's fucking ridiculous that like we are sending shit. We send people. We send our super secret squirrel guys over there to kind of help out a little bit. Much like we did in parts of the Middle East for many, many years.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's mostly CIA funding and providing.
Yeah, now, like we have some bearded bros over there helping out, giving training as they do, and we're giving them copious amounts of equipment and supplies. Yeah. But the act of we'll pull people out if you pull people out. For one, Joey Boombox, he's got like 10 times more people in that country than we do.
He's got an entire country there. We have like 10 dudes.
Yeah, that's what when I read it and it was like we will pull out an equal amount of forces. I'm like, we only got 12 guys. Like, and obviously,
use his favorite word, facetious. That's what we're being here right now. Obviously,
I'm exaggerating, right? We probably have a little bit more than that, but
13.
And they're there advising. They're not there as an actual fighting force. We don't have a whole brigade over there like we normally deploy.
Yeah,
it's a unit, like an SFAB unit over there advising. Like they do. And I'm not saying that I actually know. If there actually is an SFAB unit over there, I had no clue.
Yeah,
I was just using as an instant.
We are not endorsing.
And I'm like,
like, what are you talking about? That said, let me move on to the point that I had in my head real quick before we before we say anything else like
my
that.
wall gets kicked in by the FBI.
So thoughts. If Russia takes over the Ukraine aggressively and we do nothing, then China takes over Taiwan because they know that we're going to do nothing, even though we've said that we'll do something. So,
Well, and also like we've told China like, hey, you fuck with Taiwan, like we will do something, right? We haven't even told Russia that. We're just like, hey, if you keep up with your bullshit, like we'll tax you. And Russia's like, all right, I'm kind of a self-sustaining country.
I'll pay you in snow.
Yeah. They're like, oh no, I can't get imports. I'm Russia.
But technically, I mean, China, it's weird that we would puff our chest to China when China pretty much owns us. They like own most of our fucking national debt. So,
well, because if you beat up the bully you owe money to, you no longer owe them money. Because if you take over the country that you're in debt to, you now own your own debt.
Oh gosh, that'll never happen.
Yeah, it's like the bank that owns my house. I then buy the bank. I now own my house.
I mean, if you could buy the bank, you should have just bought the house.
You're correct. You're correct, but I wanted to go about this a roundabout way.
The Bruce Wayne style.
Yeah. I didn't have money, and then now I won the lottery. So rather than pay off my house already, I might as well just buy the bank.
And now I'm the bad guy that owns 100 million other houses.
See? I now own my house and yours. But I mean, it is weird that we would puff our chest up to China, right? They do own everything. We rely so fucking much on China.
Oh yeah.
Not only monetarily, obviously, but exports for nearly fucking everything.
If we cut ties with China, Walmart would like shut down.
We can't
everything.
produce our own fucking cars because they have all the chips.
Actually, I give China a swirly.
Right? And also, for a while there, if you all remember, we were having problems doing vaccines because a lot of the components that we get for our vaccine manufacturers were made in China.
That's because everything's cheaper over there and basically slave labor.
Yes, which is a whole nother thing of I personally think that we should pull a lot of our shit back and become more self-sustaining.
Why?
I don't know.
Nobody wants to work here now anyway.
President thought that was a great fucking idea to just dole shit out to other countries. But that seems stupid, doesn't it? That seems stupid.
So the other day I see
other countries have rules that you have to like import in that country that you're at. Like in Germany, if you own a food company there, let's say McDonald's, you can't source your potatoes from Idaho like the rest of McDonald's around the world does. You have to source it from Germany.
Yeah, it's not really working for them though, because Germany's in fucking free fall right now economically.
Economically, but they got plenty of potatoes.
They got so many potatoes.
Yeah, right. And then
they're in the freezer just in case.
Yeah, and then like Japan imports McDonald's imports all of their French fries from Simplot, which is up in Idaho and Oregon. They don't produce any potatoes in the country, so like they don't have that rule. Like, how hard would it be? Well, I mean, actually, in our current government, it'd actually be really hard to have a rule where you had to supply and demand in your own country, having the fact that, lobbying. So.
Oh, I missed this. This was a good point. At a certain point, Heather says we have to start taking some responsibility and stop ignoring the violence that goes on around us. Violence is nowhere near as lethal as apathy. I agree with that.
You're correct. But confrontation is scary in person.
Confrontation's so much easier on the internet.
Well,
you don't get punched in the face.
Yeah, right? You have to worry about getting punched in the fucking mouth. Remember the days where you would have some like Karen?
You had to walk up to somebody and fucking say they're an asshole to their face, so you get punched in the mouth.
Have some Karen in the front of the fucking line at Walmart being a douche, and there'd be an old dude in the back of the line being like, Hurry up, bitch.
There were different times. Now
Different
now he would just tweet her and say, "Hurry up, you fucking dirty skunk." I don't know.
You made a joke, but you know it would be true. Like, it would just be phones. It would just be phones recording. Like, no one would actually say or do anything. It would just be phones recording. It's just like all of the videos that we've ever seen of a fight where this dude is mauling a man or a woman, or what? Like, the one thing that always drove me crazy when there's like these mass shootings or bombings or anything is when they're like, we have cell phone video of the incident.
Tyler died.
And they're like, oh, we have cell phone video of the shooting. And I'm like, okay, cool. We get to see what happened. But also, what the fuck were you doing with your phone out? Run that way.
Cell phones. Man, they're so fucking great. They're so fucking cool. You have everything. This is old man speak right here. You got everything in the palm of your fucking hand. And it's just been the downfall of fucking society. I blame things like World Star.
Media.
The world got dumber after World Star.
I would say after Facebook. I think social media and smartphone technology has brought down the world, because it like I just said, right? There's a mass shooting going on. You're getting shot at, and your reaction is to go
and then run. Views.
Yeah, and then run. Like, dude, no one cares. Like, and then some people are like, oh well, I wanted to take it, for evidence. Like, he's shooting people. They know that. It's in a Walmart. There's video cameras. You're not going to help. You're not going to crack the fucking case, bro.
Social media is the cancer of society, but it's the only way we could put out shit like this.
Right? I mean, we could just get in the back of like an F-250 and just drive through neighborhoods.
Yeah, with loudspeakers.
Yeah, we could do that. That was the old school podcasting, kids.
It's called disrupting society. Do you have a permit?
Getting arrested.
You get let go with a warning. I get arrested and go to jail for 6 months.
6 months. That's a light sentence.
I know.
Because you resisted arrest.
I said, hey.
Already. You're currently resisting arrest
arrest right now.
Right now.
Why do you have a hoodie on, sir? What?
Stop
You're
resisting.
indoors.
Stop resisting.
It's my garage, bitch. Oh, you called me a bitch.
Stop resisting. That's assault. He assaulted an officer. We make jokes, but
this does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does.
Not all cops. There are good cops out there. Believe it or not, there are good fucking cops out there.
I will say a majority. There are a majority of good cops.
Yeah.
Because and as much as I say it and other people say it all the time, right? Like, I hate this fucking world, right? I hate these people. Like, people are just, everyone's a fucking idiot. A majority of people are good and they're reasonable.
Yes.
It's just the people that we see are the ones that get on TV or social media.
I feel like the reasonable people are the quiet ones.
Well, yeah, because they don't give a fuck. They mind their own goddamn fucking business. Because the reasonable people, like, politically, they're the ones that are like, you do you, boo-boo. I don't give a fuck. So why am I going to stand out on a street corner protesting your right to wear a hat? Like, I don't give a shit. You wear your hat. Like, they don't give a fuck. So the reasonable people, they're not on TV and social media because
they're boring. They're not
care.
Sensationalist.
No. Well, they're not trying to get attention because they don't give a shit.
I mean, you can't sell something if you don't passionately have a fucking view about it. And the people that passionately seem to have views and they're fucking blowing up on fucking these things are just spewing fucking hate and separatism and divisiveness. Probably the same thing, but two different words, so I can extend what I'm saying.
Synonyms. Right? It's like
not one antonym for the record.
Not a single antonym. We know words. Facetious. Awesome, bitch. I feel personally attacked.
Yes. But we appreciate your opinion.
But I appreciate you. But I mean, like, so we joke around, like, me potentially having like a political career in the future. And I feel like I would have the shortest political career in the world.
God, you wouldn't last.
No. And it's because I'm not divisive.
No, you're not.
No, because people would be like, hey, how do you feel about gay rights? I'd be like, cool. How do you feel about abortion? Not my fucking business. How do you feel about marijuana? Also not my fucking business. Okay.
It seems like you don't have a platform, Councilman Rhodes.
Yeah, no. My platform is mind your own fucking business.
How does that get votes?
It doesn't, because the news media would immediately. I would have news coverage for about a month, while
No,
people
24
would
hours.
they would cover it here and there, ever so often, just being like, this random fucking person running for Congress doesn't seem to give a shit, and then it would die off like almost immediately.
It's real white man. If I said that, would it have any more impact? I mean, I'm higher on the scale. Like if you go like total amounts of melanin.
I didn't say that I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't bother me. If what you were doing does not affect me, you do you. That's how I am politically. Anyone who's watched the show long enough knows that. And that's how most of us on the show are.
Yeah.
Even Firth, who some people think is like the fucking banner waver of Trump. He also, even though he gets a little loud and a little opinionated, he also doesn't give a shit what you do, as long as it doesn't infringe on what he's trying to do.
He's secretly, he doesn't know that he's libertarian.
He's a libertarian.
He doesn't know it. And that's okay. That's all right. I mean, that's just definition anyway. So whatever.
Yeah. Right. It's just, I don't give a shit. Right. And what I do give a shit about is people having the right to not give a shit. Right. So do I think that there is, I don't know what SJW means.
Social justice warrior. How do you not know that?
I don't care.
Councilman Rhodes, how do you not care
about social justice warriors, or
Yes.
other words, cunts? I don't care.
These are what are they?
They're cunts.
Influencers. Influencers.
Yeah, no, we said the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a preview into whatever fucking media junket I would run. Someone's getting called a fucker. Someone's getting told to go fuck themselves.
And that would be it. That would be the only thing they would have on you.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, Tim, you were at the junket. What did future Congressman Rhodes say to you? He told me to go fuck myself. Why did he say that?
Quote?
Yeah. Well, why did he say go fuck yourself? Well, I asked him if he thought that the other candidate was unqualified because of their race, and he told me to go fuck myself. I think he agrees. And there's me walking in the background out of the auditorium. Because I wouldn't give a shit, right? I don't give a shit when it comes to things that limit your rights. But I also acknowledge, as many people should, I acknowledge that there are inequalities between cultures and different classes in the United States. And there are things that the government, aka future Congressman Rhodes, should do to better those people's lives and help them, not enable them, but to help them.
So what about, like, is placating not good enough? Because that's what the Dems seem to do. Like, I remember Nancy Pelosi
the Republicans
doing,
are super good at it too.
But the most egregious one is Nancy Pelosi doing Wakanda Forever in a dashiki style fucking scarf.
Or you mean maybe a certain president's promises to do like 90 things and then not doing a single one of them?
Oh, that's like most presidents, though.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. It's also most congressmen and senators. They're like, you know what? The wage gap is ridiculous. I'm going to make sure that there's equal pay for everyone. And see,
inflation is good for everyone, Rhodes. Let's stop you right there. Inflation just means the dollar's working.
See, so I agree with her. We need equity, right? And what I think, and I don't know if she means this or not, but what I think some people construe with equality and equity is not that everyone starts off at an equal base. That's not what it means. It means that everyone has the equal potential to get to the same level, right? So the gentleman who went to Ivy League schools because his family was well off and wealthy, he could go to Harvard. He has the equal level of chances and opportunities as the young gentleman who grew up in the inner city and grew up in lower middle class, right?
Yeah, but that second kid's parents can't buy a fucking library.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the disparage is.
That's
So
not a racial thing,
making
though.
it-
That's an economical thing. That's
Well, no, I wasn't saying racially.
okay.
I'm just saying equality across the board when it comes economically or racially or gender equality as well. That's what equality is. It's the potential to reach the same level of equality. It's not creating them all on a same basis, because not all of us can be upper class.
Here we
Like
go.
that's not how that works.
Go for it. Heather says equality means everyone gets a Band-Aid on their finger no matter where they're cut. Equity means that we get Band-Aids where we are actually cut.
Okay. I didn't know the difference between the words. I honestly thought they were the same thing.
They were definitely not the same thing, but I wasn't going to let you go.
I feel like what I was describing, though,
Was
is
your own
equity.
point.
Well, it's equity, right? You're
Mm.
getting the Band-Aid where you're actually cut. So the people who are that lower class, so they can get up there and actually achieve the same thing as the people who are better off more financially and economically, they get the correct help to help them get up there. So equal level of schooling, right? The schools throughout the state, the funding gets split equally. So that way, even though it's a smaller school or it's an inner city school, it gets the same amount of funding. So it can do the great things with its students as the richer kids school in the better suburban area.
But then what will we do with standardized testing that determines budgets? That we'd have to throw all of that away. You know how much money we spent on that to determine how much money they get?
A lot of fucking money. And also districting. Yeah, when it comes to school districts and they expand their school districts, that way they can pull it from the poorer, more rural communities. That way they can't have better schools. Yeah. Or you have an inner city school which has 6,000 kids going there, yet they have a worse schooling and testing score and like school equipment than the 1,200 kids school down the road, but also in suburbia. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Standardized testing is shitty. It's fucking terrible. It's been terrible. We could go on education for forever. Really could.
We don't have time for a Common Core rant.
But I'm just saying, like you were saying, placating. People are just trying to placate and they're trying to gaslight. Yes. They're saying, "Oh, we'll give you."
That's all we do these days. That's
all people want anymore. Yeah. People just want to be given things. And they want to be given things so that way they can be satiated. They don't want to be given things so that way they can succeed.
But people aren't even really being given anything of substance. They're given like basically the equivalent of like an attaboy. Hey, we care about you. Go fuck yourself.
And also, don't misconstrue people. We're not saying that like food stamps or things being given to lower income families financially to help them is bad. I know I can speak for myself. My family has used them.
Same.
Right? And it helps. But there are also it also gets to a level though, right? Much like with the pandemic relief, it gets to a level to where that's income now. It's gotten to such a level that you no longer have to work because now you're getting a living wage being unemployed and living on food stamps because they're giving you enough. It's supposed to be a subsidy, not a replacement.
So let me bring up this. I had a random thought in the shower earlier today when I was alone with my thoughts. And for some reason, the whole Germany thing, the whole Germany thing, their economy being in a free fall just like popped into my head. And they were one of the countries that were giving regular stipends or whatever, like the fucking checks that we got. Americans got like fucking COVID. Yeah. So Americans got like 2 checks. A lot of the European countries that are currently in fucking free fall,
they were giving monthly checks.
They were giving monthly checks. So we're at a point where people are not working, and it kind of blows my mind in America a bit because America a bit because we only got like 3 fucking checks besides the ongoing child tax credit. And on one day I see it's just a mass exodus from jobs. And then today I see a report on YouTube, a news report of Joe Biden saying it's the biggest economic boom in the entire time of his presidency. Like, how do we have
December had the lowest jobs rating of the whole year.
That seems to like change daily though.
Well,
One
yeah.
day it's the worst, then the next day he's on the news saying hey, everything's fucking fantastic.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. It depends on who you're listening to, because
No,
one thing that I have
seen
realized from the Joe Biden administration is that they will not say that they fucked up. Like at all. Not even remotely. Like I remember seeing Bush and Obama stand in front of the camera and being like, we fucked up. We fucked up a little bit, but now we're in it and we're gonna figure it out, right? They're like, we're gonna pull ourselves out, we're gonna figure it out. Trump also never said he fucked up.
I mean,
he won't.
Why would a guy who has a golden toilet in his fucking penthouse, who's probably done blow off of it with strippers, to be like, hey, have you ever done blow on a Tuesday? Have you ever done blow off a golden toilet bowl in a penthouse? Come on, this guy is not a fucking great guy. However,
by the way, America, red flag number 1, owns a golden toilet. You love your own ass that much
to sit on the softest metal, but it also warms up to match your butthole temperature.
Like, how much of a fucking narcissistic cuck do you have to be to have something solid gold that you shit in? I don't have solid gold things that I look at.
He's not a fucking great guy. Do I like him better than old Joey Boombox? Yeah, hell yeah, I do. However,
it was said here. The brown guy likes Trump.
And a string of shitty people. But come on, the guy with the golden toilet is probably not that's supervillain shit right there.
Not even a good one.
Still like him better than Joey
Trump
Boombox.
As a DC villain is the guy that actually literally steals candy from babies.
He's Calendar Man. He's just like
Calendar Man.
Anyway,
I would say he's Polka Dot Man.
Luthor.
Polka Dot Man actually murders people.
Lex Luthor has a diamond toilet. But Calendar Man, he found some gold. He made a golden toilet. I mean, he's still a bad guy.
Yeah, Donald Trump's still a bad guy, but still less of a threat than armed tear-off boy.
Oh man. I just
if you don't get the references, look them up. They're funny.
Yes, a joke that you have to do research on is always funny.
It's not my fault you're uneducated. Okay? It's not my fault you're uncultured. That you don't know obscure villains from comic books. Okay?
I'm just saying, to get back to the points that I was trying to. It's just like, stimulus, while it helped out, did it really just set this fucking trend of we're just moving to a place where nobody wants to work? Are we waiting for the next fucking check? Don't get me wrong, I spent that shit, but are we waiting? But I kept my job the entire time because I'm essential.
Yeah, I mean, but they help too much sometimes, right? And a lot of it is you're gaslighting. You're placating. People are like, oh no, we don't have jobs. And the government's like, well, we don't want you going outside. So here's some money. But the US government's like, we're also super in fucking debt. So we can't give you every month. Like, here's like a little bit of money just to like fucking.
Is to get you by. Go get you a pack of Newports and chill out.
Yeah. And I read that, Heather, by the way, the reason why you feel like you're less in threat with you and your friends is that because your side's in charge. That's how the Republicans felt when Trump was in office. They didn't feel like they were threatened because
she has a follow-up.
Oh no, I definitely understand you on that, and I sympathize or empathize. I don't know what the correct one is because I'm not a woman, but like
he's all about thizing.
Feel for you. I'm trying to use words today.
All right, we got to actually start speaking these out for the people that will eventually listen to this and get another episode besides the fucking Will Smith one up. I was like passing shit out.
Are we that far behind? Oh,
yes.
Shit. Sorry.
Heather says, I think the job renaissance that is happening is a good thing. I would need more information on that because I don't really
aware of a job renaissance.
I have trouble framing this as a job renaissance.
I have seen, I think, so there have been two things which I think is cool through the past couple years.
Okay.
There has been an emphasis on STEM related jobs, and college degrees, right? So
Okay.
less people are getting their degree in either, fucking the human rights of a potato,
Yeah.
or
The
which,
dance
by
move
the way,
of the Dead
that's
Sea
the
Scrolls.
highest major at Boise State, right? Potato human rights, or like Russian lit, or like female studies. Good classes to take, not down in those, right? Take them to understand different sides. But do you need a whole major in it? Also, do you need a whole major in fucking Russian lit? No, you don't. And this is coming from a potential history major. I understand. But so there has been a more emphasis in STEM related jobs. So science, technology, what does the E stand for? Engineering and mathematics.
Okay.
And also art. They added art on there, STEM. So there has been an emphasis on those. So you're getting a lot more people in cybersecurity and engineering and mathematics and science and physics, chemistry, bioengineering, all that stuff we need. But then,
real quick, even in the so you're saying the science type fucking stuff. There's even like a massive just people just leaving like the video game industry. Like everybody's trying to hire the same people because everyone's just fucking like quitting. And it's like it's.
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, this is a story I read recently that people are just leaving, and the video game industry does suck. They work crazy fucking hours. People just don't get credit for the shit that they do. So a lot of the things that Heather's bringing up in the chat definitely fucking make sense, guaranteed. And companies should be changing their policies. People should be making equal pay. Should we be going higher than the current pay ceiling, which then increases fucking the cost of everything? That's questionable because not every area is increasing at the same rate.
Right. So so on that, that's something I heard on the news the other day. There was an economist and he was speaking. He's like, he agrees with increased minimum wage, but he disagrees. And I agreed with him when he said this. He disagrees on a federal minimum wage.
Okay.
Because a livable wage is different all across the United States. True. Right. So $15 an hour. Is that a livable wage in, let's say, LA? I don't know, but let's say that's what they wanted it to be, right? Probably not. It's fucking LA. But okay, so let's say Washington, right? They wanted to raise it to $15.
Okay.
That was their view of a livable wage. So yes, but in a more rural place like, let's say, North Dakota or Montana or Wyoming, their cost of living isn't as high. So that's too much. And then you're requiring a smaller populous community of smaller businesses that don't get as much of a revenue as the larger cities like Seattle and LA and New York to then have to pay their people that increased amount, which then makes businesses go bankrupt and go under and raises costs because now you're having to pay your farmers or your manual labor people more because minimum wage is more, even though you're living in a more rural community where cost of living is low.
Housing is going to go up. Utilities are going to go up.
Going to go up. So it should really be mandated by the states at the highest level, right?
Okay,
maybe
I'm with you so far.
The county or an area within that state, because if you live in this, a metropolis central area, yeah, your cost of living is going to be more. But then you live 2 hours away in Podunk, wherever the fuck, but you also work out there, then your cost of living is lower. Because as we've seen, if you've looked anywhere trying to buy a house recently, and a lot of people in the military, we understand it's move so much.
Skyrocketing.
But it can change from an hour to another place, right? You try to look around the Austin area or Round Rock around here, and housing is insane. An hour out, just an hour away from them, in a less populated area, you can get the same house that was going for $400,000 for $170,000 because it is outside of the metropolis area where most people are trying to move. So in those kind of situations, it could also make sense that, the minimum wage could change from one to the other, depending on where your residence and your working is. So I agree that I don't think there should be a federal minimum wage. I think it should be mandated by the states, and that it should be a livable fucking wage, because I'm in the military. I get paid very well for the most part, especially when it comes to housing for the most part.
And that's going to be going up shortly.
And it is, and it has. But up to recently, with this new jump in BAH, there were some places throughout the United States where me and my wife didn't want to go because we wouldn't be able to afford housing. I get paid housing. It doesn't come out of my paycheck. That's an allowance that I get. And the Army and the military wasn't going to pay enough for us to go to that place. Like, we wanted to go back home to Boise, to Idaho. And the cost of living over there for housing is so high right now.
Oh, yeah, because all the Californians
had
to
2 years
escape fucking California because everything got so fucking expensive and honestly pretty fucking insane there. From an outside perspective, you have the celebrities, of course, saying California is a great place to live. What are you guys talking about? And then you have the people,
they run it.
Then you have the people that, get their fucking coffee and they can't afford anything. It's they're
paying $1 million for a 1-bedroom condo.
Jesus. Again, this is a fair point as well. If we weren't fucking taxed, Austin says, if we weren't taxed for every breath we take, healthcare insurance wasn't unfathomably expensive, everyone wouldn't need the handouts. Yes, taxes are ridiculous. And we talk too much about Russia, apparently, because this is somebody commenting from YouTube.
Not today, Russian ISIS. Not today.
Hey, this is Putin, longtime fan, first time fucking commenter.
Cool down your shit. I want to know what the Sister 19 was. This a sleeper code? Did he just activate someone to come murder us?
Yes, this was a sleeper code. We did not suicide ourselves.
Yes, if anyone is watching right now, I am happy with my life. And so is the rest of my family that could also potentially suicide me.
If you needed the mission report, Sister19 LOL.online, we would have December or whatever the fuck, Winter Soldier, we would have given you that mission report.
I already tweeted it.
I killed the Starks. What do you want?
I am Iron Man.
The Marvel Starks, the Game of Thrones Starks, all of them. I killed them all.
Always starting off with that one dude who dies in everything.
Sean Bean. Oh shit, I'm activated.
The
code word was Sean Bean.
But you're very right, Austin. And I love this country. I do. I love the United States.
Shitty people, great place.
I love it.
The founding ideas. We
are getting to a point where we are becoming a country of dependence. Dope. They will be used. I'm tweeting these over to Ukraine right now. But we are becoming a country of dependence, right? We're becoming a country where the populace, the people who should be in charge, don't feel that they are and don't feel that they have the power when they do. And so they feel powerless.
I'm having trouble understanding that. The people that are in charge are definitely in fucking charge, and they have too much power.
Us, the people, big people.
People,
right?
So we little the people.
Okay. We the people. I read that in like a thing.
I saw a bumper sticker once.
Yeah, that's where it was. I think it was on a tattoo. I saw We the people. It was kind of like a union, like remembrance thing.
Yeah, and then right underneath it said "Live, Love, Laugh."
Yeah. We the people, an old-timey script. Live, love, laugh. And it's stair-stepped down his shoulder blade.
Lots of happy trees. Lots of happy trees.
Oh, and a compass.
Don't forget the anchor to hold me down, to keep me grounded.
And a bird.
These are all great tattoos if you have them. We're talking about a combination of all of these great tattoos.
None of them are okay.
I'm going to go get an anchor and a bird tomorrow.
Yeah, I say that as a man who has 3 crosses on his forearm.
Austin says DC housing is absolutely ridiculous. A 3-bed, 2-bath house near DC is about $1 million, and the same house in Iowa would be about $250K. I had to move over an hour away to afford anything. That's why AOC.
See, that's the thing.
She said she couldn't afford.
But you move an hour away out in Alexandria, and you can afford I've looked. You can afford a really nice house for not terrible.
And a Punisher skull next. I actually have a Punisher skull on my fucking arm, so I should get that lasered off, I guess.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
The lights were off that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what it was. But so we're becoming a country of dependents. And the people who actually have the power, the citizens, the community, right? We don't realize that we do. And we don't feel like we do. And the people who are in power, the government officials who work for us, they have the power and they know they do. And it started off as they knew who they worked for. And then through the years, and through the years, I mean, a couple hundred, right?
I don't know if they ever did, dude.
Well, so here's the thing. They had a fault. So they had a reliance on their constituents.
Yeah.
But through the years, what I think is what happened is enough people, shitty people, got into those positions and they realized, oh, fuck, we could have a lot of power if we just did one or two things kind of on the sly and made it to where they can't do anything about it. And that's what they've done. Through the years, they've slowly switched some shit. And now no one feels like we can do anything. And then what do? They then pin us against each other so we can't come together to kick them the fuck out. And that is the problem. We're so divided because we let them divide us. When in reality,
that's constantly happening.
Yeah. Well, in reality, a majority of the people, even if you took a All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter protest face to face in the streets, right? And shut them all the fuck up and just broke it down and said, hey, everyone who believes that everyone should have basic human fucking functionality and rights, everyone, including all race, sex, age, whatever the fuck, stand on this side. Everyone who thinks that you're separated by your sex or age or race, stand over here. A majority of the fucking people from both groups would be on that same side and be standing side by side, and they'd be like, oh shit, we actually kind of want the same thing, but I just can't articulate it enough not to piss you off because I'm a fucking idiot and you're a fucking idiot. And so because of that, we're divided because either they can't articulate themselves or the people who can articulate themselves the best have the highest platform of voice, and then they are more convincing. So if you take someone, let's say like a Tucker Carlson, that can speak some sort of coherent wording into the fucking ether of mind space, you can then convince an entire side of the country to hate one other side because they hate them, when in reality, you're all fighting for the same shit. You're just using different fucking words. That's how I feel. That's what I feel is the problem. Is too many people feel like there's enemies out there when in reality, the enemy is the person that's telling you that they're the enemy.
I'm with you on that. And it's even to the point where we're making symbols out of like fucking nothing. Austin, you're a fucking gem today, and I appreciate your service.
I don't know who this is.
You
know who this is.
No.
Maybe? Oh, I don't know who you are. But
Either
Austin, fucking caps off to you, brother.
So you're familiar with Austin brought up the Punisher skull, right? Are you familiar with the Punisher skull?
I am, and I'm also aware of the irony of the Punisher skull.
So are you familiar with the thin blue line enhanced Punisher skull?
Yeah, that's the irony involved.
That's the irony. So Marvel is now distancing itself, and that is the new Punisher logo. That is the new Punisher logo. So
okay, so hold on. The company
Marvel Comics,
the comic books, right? That created the Punisher.
Yes.
Who notoriously and canonically hated.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Structured law enforcement, right?
One more time. Throw that back 10 seconds.
The comic book that created a character that actually disliked police officers.
It was a police officer that his family was taken out by the mob, and then he went further to, at that point, take out anybody who did any sort of injustice.
Yeah, and he hated the police, just any police officer, really.
Bad police officers, mostly.
Well, he didn't like most of them because they were complacent, right? I remember there was a strip where he just hated pretty much. He was talking to another police officer. He's like, I hate you all equally because you're complacent in the things that are happening. He's like, you're not doing anything either. You're just fucking standing there wanting to arrest me for doing something. And so then So the company that created that, right? The comics book that created that character with that symbol representing anarchy to do the right thing, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good way to
They're
to
then
phrase
going
it.
to rebrand because police officers and other idiots took that symbol for backing police officers, the symbol of a character who murdered them.
It's just like, so the question is, like, obviously they have done things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where they've connected different what was potentially before different continuities. So let's say Joe Bernthal comes back. That's got to be his new Skull.
So you think they're having a plan to like bring a new Punisher?
If they do bring in a Punisher, I think it will be with a new Skull. The comic
because it hasn't
Skull,
all been John Castle, right? Or Jack Castle?
Frank Castle.
Frank Castle, sorry.
Yeah. It's been mostly
Which, by
Frank
the
Castle.
way, the OG movie with John Travolta as the bad guy, fucking perfect.
With Dolph Lundgren?
That wasn't Dolph Lundgren.
The first Punisher movie was with Dolph Lundgren.
Who Dolph Lundgren play?
Frank Castle.
No, not that one. The one with John Travolta is the bad guy.
I just think it's.
I gotta look this up because I love this.
While he's looking it up, I think it's pretty crazy that they've had to take this step and just completely change the logo. The comic book itself, whether you're a comic book fan or not, they're changing him from his roots, and now he's running a group of ninjas that Elektra used to run the Hand. And maybe you've seen the Netflix series.
What?
It's they are trying to distance themselves so far away from this fucking thin blue line Skull, and it's like
now he's a ninja leader.
I mean, you know what? It's a comic book. At one point,
is a comic book.
At one point, the Punisher was a Frankenstein. At one point, the Punisher was a fucking angel sent back from fucking heaven and he had God guns. So I mean, I get it. It's
By the way, Rico didn't make up either of those things.
I never make up any comic book stuff.
All these things are true things.
It's sad that they have to distance themselves from it. I get it, but it's just so iconic, and for it to be changed into this new version of this character where he fucking runs ninjas, and it's.
Well,
where do you go from there?
I am okay with in creative license, right? I am 100% okay with that. I'm one not like super into comic books. There are certain comic book things that I'm into, and I like them the way they were when I was growing up or the way I got into them. But it 100%, you are correct.
You are absolutely correct.
I saw that and I thought either Skyrim or Halo. But so I am all for creative license, but I don't like it when people redo things to placate people, right? Just to satiate. Like when they change their character to a different race for inclusion, just for inclusion's sake. Like create an original story so that person can feel originally represented. Don't just change Cinderella because no. I understand you and I understand where you're coming from. We talked about it last episode. I am 100% for representation, but have it be original. Don't just change an original character that was created a certain way into someone else's ethnicity or sex just so you can say that you're being inclusive. Create original shit and make it good. That way it becomes classic.
I get what you're saying.
Like they did Moana, and Moana is a classic that will forever be a classic now.
Fantastic.
Right? Amazing. But if you take Cinderella, which they've done in the past, and you just do the same exact story, no difference, and you just make her black.
But does Cinderella need to be white?
Cinderella's just black now. No, she doesn't need to be white. I'm not saying she needs to be white. I'm just saying don't change her because you're just trying to please people.
As far as like comic book movies go, I had zero problem with the Kingpin being fucking Michael Clark Duncan. I thought he was fucking fantastic.
He was a great Kingpin.
Yeah, I also had, even though the last Fantastic Four movie is straight garbage, for
Michael
the
B.
Spanish
Jordan did
speakers.
great.
Basuda. Dude, Michael B. Jordan was fine. Jessica Alba should have never been fucking
No.
fucking Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. So I mean, it depends on the fucking actor, actress, whatever.
But when you change them, like I feel like the Michael B. Jordan thing, like they changed them to a black character just because either one of the actors, either the father or Michael B. Jordan's character.
You want a female Quasimodo? Just watch the first season of The Witcher.
Yeah, but that glow up though, that glow up.
Yep.
Yeah, but like so, Fantastic Four. I think they did that not because they wanted to make one character black. I think they did that because they either had Michael B. Jordan or the guy who played the father in mind, and then they were just trying to keep. Oh, there you go. That's fucking. I feel like Austin has a weird like fetish that he wants fulfilled.
I like where you go with this.
But I feel like sometimes they change the ethnicity of characters just because they have a character, an actor in mind that they want in a role.
Yeah.
And so then they change it, right?
That happens
and
a lot. Like this character, so this actor, actress, whatever, they're so huge right now. We got to get them in there.
And that's fine.
Mm.
But when you're a company and you're just like, hey, how can we sell toys? Which, by the way, people, if you look into the past, most kids shows that like were pivotal when you were growing up were only created to sell toys.
Oh yeah,
literally was their first goal was
Shocker.
Let's make toys.
It was all
and
commercials.
Then they created a show, right?
You can see that on that Netflix series of toys.
Yes,
they would create the toys first, and then make a comic book, and then make a cartoon, and then see where it goes.
Power Rangers was created first as well. Actually, it was a Japanese show, but in America,
it was created.
They wanted to make toys.
It was, right? Even in Japan, though, it wasn't a toy line first, and then they.
Yes, and then they made a TV show to sell it. Japan was the one that actually came first in doing that model of toys and then making TV show advertisements.
Mm.
But like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, one of the key things of them actually getting to create the show was Hasbro or whoever created the toys told the writers of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're like, it has to be able to sold it as a toy. Like, we're not just interested in a show; it has to be as a toy. So that's what I'm saying is just inclusion is great and representation is awesome, and that's coming from a straight white man. I am always represented, and I never feel unrepresented, and I don't care if I'm watching a show of all black gay dudes. I don't give a shit. I will enjoy the fuck out of that show. One of my favorite shows is Queer Eye. Yeah, there's some white dudes on there, but I'm not gay, and I enjoy the fuck out of that show. I love it. I enjoy the shit out of that show. And I'm not represented anywhere in there. None of them are cowboys. None of them are country. Like, I just live my life, man.
I think I talked about it last week. It was probably towards the end of the show.
And it was great.
Yeah. And like, there's two movies that have stuck out to me. For me personally, it was Into the Spider-Verse, with this Black Latino Spider-Man just being like the full fucking focus. And it was like the whole movie like just fucking like touched me. And for my daughter, Encanto, like I said, she doesn't see a lot of Disney movies where these stereotypical Disney princesses look anything like her. And that she cannot get enough of that movie. And I didn't realize until maybe the 100th time she watched it, she's moving past the other stuff and she just wants to like see this. Is she identifying with it? Am I reading too much into it? I don't know.
I think there's a point there that she doesn't even realize what she's identifying with.
Yeah.
Right. She just feels a pull to it. And there's certain things that, me growing up that I was pulled towards more with a little bit of, that spoke to me more.
Yeah.
As an individual that wasn't, your generic white kid that grew up in Beverly Hills. Like whenever I saw a show with a family, like Malcolm in the Middle, I loved Malcolm in the Middle because it was about a lower income family that was fucking batshit. And I was like, that's my fucking family. Because everything else that was on was either Boys Meets World, 90210, One Tree Hill, like these perfect upper suburban families. And I'm living in a fucking trailer next to a meth trailer. And I'm like, this crazy fucking family and Malcolm in the Middle.
What was Corey's friend's name? You could have identified with him.
So I also didn't have cable.
Didn't you say Boy Meets World?
Yeah, I know it's a show, but I didn't watch it.
You never watched Boy Meets World? Damn.
I didn't have cable.
It was on like.
No, it was not.
It was over the. It was an over the air
Nope.
show.
No,
Yeah, it was.
That shit was on Disney.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. We'll have this fight later during
Yes,
Halo.
we will.
Stay tuned.
Which, by the way, Punisher 2004, the Thomas Jane one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I actually
that's my
like the
favorite. I really
the
like
last
that one.
one the best. The Thomas Jane one I wasn't a fan
Netflix one?
of. No.
Oh, the last movie.
The last movie.
Yeah, no, I like that one. That was a good one. Fight with the big Russian, like the guitar dude, and like I thought it was really good.
Thomas Jane one was the Russian dude with the stripy T-shirt. He looked like he was straight out of a fucking comic book. It was just
100%.
It was too much.
But that fight scene though, oh, that was great.
Star Wars got a fuck ton. The toys probably kept Star Wars going, Austin. That's just a fact. Because we had a huge downtime between the original trilogy and the books, all the merch. The merch kept it going.
Actually, yes, I know One Tree Hill and all those movies, they have their problems, right? They go to prison, someone gets shot, right? Yeah, I get it. Okay. But they were represented as the rich, upper class white kids. And also, I've never seen these shows, so
Heather and Ashley, you're saving me. Sean, you should have identified with Sean then.
Oh, actually, from the little bit of Boys Meets World that I've watched, I do. I would 100%. I enjoyed the show whenever I could actually watch it on cable. Whenever it was like at my grandma's house, I loved watching Boys Meets World. I thought it was great. I just couldn't watch it any other time.
That's what I was going to say, Ashley. I thought Boy Meets World was on TGIF, which was ABC, which in New York was Channel 7. That was an over-the-air channel. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't think it was in Idaho. You had to like tune your potato to the right thing. I just didn't. I could only hold a certain stance with the bunny ears on my TV for so long.
Man, Austin, somebody turned me on to Trailer Park Boys in fucking Utah, and I binged the fuck out of that so bad. I'm not even from trailer. I somehow identified with it. Maybe I just identify with bad choices.
All right. But I think that diversity is great, and I think that representation is very important, especially for young kids, especially in a world where the level of understanding and the level of representation is growing, right? There is a higher percentage of younger kids that do identify with either being trans or a different gender or homosexual or anything like that. And the world is changing, and it's
not a bad thing.
It's great. And I think it's great that we're having that representation
and
that diversity at a younger level, because, when we were kids, there may have been people who felt like or identified as trans, but it wouldn't really come out until like high school time. Like really like them being comfortable in being out. Like you didn't have 10-year-olds running around when I was a kid saying, being genetically male and saying that they're female. Like that was
worse
really
than that though. There's these I hope they're fringe cases, but the internet, you have these parents that are like, my 6-month-old was born a male, but really the 6-month-old identifies as a female, and they're actively trying to change them without their child's consent, and that's fucking insane to me.
Well, yes, like there's also a level of like there's a level of realization that, for one, kids will do what they friends do, and they will emulate social media and culture, right? There was a time where I would only wear skinny jeans and zoomy shoes. Rico, have you ever seen me in anything other than boots?
No, never.
No, you haven't, have you?
Even in PT, boots all the time.
Correct. It took a lot to get First Star to let me wear those cowboy boots and PT shorts, but
he had a boot profile for any army.
Once he saw my legs, though, he was okay with it. Saw my calf in the
gym floors.
Yeah. But so we get represented because at that time, like skater kind of that was a fucking thing when I was a kid. I am not a skater kid at all. I grew into myself, right? And yes, that's a little bit of a different thing than trans and body dysmorphia and different things like that.
Yeah.
But kids will. Me personally, and I've said it before on the show. If my kids ever come out, and especially the trans thing, because that's more of a bigger change. If my daughters come out and say, I'm gay at 10, fucking dope. You do you.
Do you, fam?
That doesn't change anything like outwardly, physically. Like you dress the way you want. You do you. But if at 8 years old they're like, I think that I'm a guy, I'm be like, okay, you can feel that way. You can dress that way. You can do whatever you need to do. But I am not doing a gender reassignment surgery on an 8-year-old. I'm not doing a gender reassignment surgery on a 16-year-old. Like when you're 18, if you can't afford it and we need to talk about some financial stability, I will fucking help you out at 18. But guess what? Also, your life choices aren't settled at fucking 18 either. And do I think that it's just a phase? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's the way that you feel. It's who you feel you are. And I understand that. But there are different levels to it. And there are plenty of people that I have met through the years who are trans and they got reassignment surgery and they regretted it because they didn't want to go full reassignment. But they did. Or people who didn't and they feel like they should go full reassignment, right? I personally never met anyone that did go full reassignment and was like, actually, you know what? I think I was a girl. Like, I don't think that I've never even met anyone like that, but I'm sure there's one or two cases, right? Sure, that guy that got like caught up in the hysteria and he was like, oh, well, all my friends were changing to be girls. And so I chopped my dick off. And you know what? I kind of miss it.
We're joking, but there is a calculable amount of people who have made the transition and unfortunately have found themselves not happy at the end of it. What percentage that is, it might be low, but I know I've seen stats in the past.
Yeah, I have seen stats, and that could also then breed into depression and anxiety, and actually have nothing to do with it. And which is one thing that I've read as well. Like some people did misread their depression, their anxiety, their body dysmorphia, and think that they were translating that as being trans, but there was actually just a whole bunch of other stuff that was going on. But what I'm basically saying is that if your child is under a certain age, cool your shit.
Austin saying he blames TikTok. I think it's all social media and it's ideas are being pushed. And obviously there are actual people that do feel they need change because they're trapped in their current body. And
see, but so when I say gender reassignment, not to cut you off, Rigo, but I also mean hormones as well, because there is a lot of study and research on doing hormone replacement too early and fucking up everything because you did it too early. If you're doing it in mid-puberty, but then also there are some arguments for cases of doing it before that puberty because then it's easier for everything to adjust over. So I see the arguments of both, but I mean, I don't know. As someone who isn't like that, it's hard for me to. I'm the kind of person, as I said earlier, that's like, you do you, right? I don't fucking care. Being that way and then not being either trans or gay, it's hard for me to then have an argument against it, right? Because that's you. That's who you feel you are and who you feel like you should be. And I feel like you should have that right to do that. But then when it comes to my kids, I'm like, I just want the best for them. And I want to do the best for them. And I want them to do it in the right way. But I don't know what the right way is because we're all still trying to figure this the fuck out.
I think we're moving past this. I'm waiting for the point. You ever see Batman Beyond? That during that cartoon they had transhumans where they were like people were like merging their
the
DNA
animal ones. I think about those on a daily basis.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like I want some surgery to have some fucking lasers come out of my fucking eyes, but we're not there yet. No one's representing me.
Yeah. Anytime anyone talks about CRISPR, I am like fucking cheetah people. Like that is all they think about is that one episode in Batman Beyond where you had the animal morph people, and I'm like that's the fucking
imagine that future though,
right?
Like that's gonna be cool.
Well, we won't be around for it, but
I know I'm gonna freeze my head just in my freezer.
I have a chest freezer Futurama style.
Ooh.
How about we both do it?
Okay. You freeze
Are we
my
just
head,
doing
I'll freeze
heads
your
though?
head.
Do you want to have like a
I mean,
Nixon
I'm
Futurama, or do we
I'm
just do
gonna
the
need
whole
a new
body?
body by then. I'm not gonna be able to keep up with all the fucking manimal people.
Yeah, but you'd be like 35, 42, and like they'll be able to like just fix us anyway.
I would have to. Oh, so it's in the year 3542. Not I'm going to be 3542. Because if that's the case, then I have to chop my head off tonight and freeze it.
Yeah, like you're already in the middle. You've already passed one cap.
Hard decisions are being made, people. Chop my head off tonight.
The year 3542.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the ability to then CRISPR, not a fetus, right? Like someone who's older who made that decision to get like genetically mixed with a cheetah. If they have that ability, they could then make old broke Rico into
new
swole
hotness
as
Rico.
fuck 32 Rico, right? Like I feel like they could do that. I feel like they could have that power. If they can twist your genetics into half ape, I think they can figure out how to make you not have wrinkles and make your knees not hurt.
We touched on January 6th very quickly, a little quickly than I thought that we were going to do. We hit on Biden, then we got into a tangent. Rhodes, tell me about this new variant. And Rhodes blew my mind last night. He says, "Hey, Rico, I know we're playing Halo, but there's a new COVID variant." And I thought this dude was fucking with me. I thought he was going to say, I was like, if you say the Ligma variant, I'm going to fuck you up.
the Ligma nuts variant. No, so basically, coming out of France, there's a variant that if the Grinch was trying to steal 2022, he would use this Ehu variant. I say Ehu because it sounds like a fucking who. Right? Like if there was a 2022 Grinch Stole Christmas version, it would have a virus called Ehu. If we were all a Dr. Seuss novel.
So Ehu, for those not tracking, is I hate you. It's all caps. So maybe it's just I hate you variant.
Because that's not a Greek letter.
But all
the other variants, they were trying to do Greek letters, and they got to Omicron, and then they're like, fucking Ehu?
Maybe they named it after the hospital because it's from the Institut Hospitalo Universitaire. Ehu. French.
Yeah. You pronounced that Spanish as fuck.
And I took 2 years of French, and I can remember nothing.
Yeah, you pronounced that in a white accent, but definitely Hispanic.
Yeah.
As I would have pronounced it as well. But into a rock. Feeling the breeze on your bumpy rockiness. Austin's coming out with really hard-hitting fucking thoughts right now.
That sounds really good, actually. Just put me out in the field. Just let me feel the breeze.
Just being a rock.
Deer can get COVID now. Are they getting Ehu?
Yeah, no, deer have been able to get COVID for a long time. It was a warning down here in Texas, actually, for hunters, because the deer were catching COVID.
You can't tell me this wasn't man-made. It fucking takes out the elderly, which takes out politicians. It harms the lung tissue of fighting age people, soldiers. It takes out your fucking food sources. You can't tell me this shit wasn't manufactured, China.
Right?
What's next? It's going to take out the internet?
No, it's transferred through 5G. We know that. I watched Alex Jones.
You can't tell me this shit wasn't manufactured. See, like Fauci testing on dogs. Yeah.
Do you ever hear fucking like conspiracy theories that are so outlandish? You're just like, fuck,
that's probably right.
Sense. Yeah. Like you're actually probably right.
Nothing about this seems wrong.
Yeah, like when people go, "Oh, we just elected Joe Biden so that Kamala Harris could be in charge," because they thought that he could be elected, but he's just a body. Or when people thought that they just had Joe Biden to placate the Dems, but actually Donald Trump is still like acting. I'm like, no. But then I see him on the news, and I'm like, maybe though.
He's such a great president. It's just so
Like
good.
Donald Trump's just in the basement, just actually running the country, is
Oh.
what some people think. But the Ehu virus. So yes,
Oh,
it's coming out
yeah,
of
real
France.
quick. And Kamala, her staff just keeps fucking quitting. They just can't even deal with her. And that's people that work with her for whatever bullshit she does, just opening emails and not fucking doing anything. Imagine that person taking over the country. Okay, Ehu.
So Ehu, it is new variant.
Ehu.
Fucking Mortal Kombat fatality. That fucking dude that pops up.
I am proud of those courageous deer, Austin.
It's turning all the deer gay. That was an Alex Jones.
It also fucks up your sperm motility. You can't tell me this shit wasn't manufactured.
Oh, good thing I'm snipped. But yes, Ehu, it's a new variant. It's hyper fucking transmissible. I was waiting for that.
Ehu. Think some blood.
But yes, it's hyper transmissible. It's also not as deadly as of right now.
That's
it's
what
only
they said
been out
about
just for a
Omicron.
little bit. So they still say that about Omicron.
That's what they said about Delta.
They still say that about Delta.
That's what they said about original Coke recipe Corona. 14 days to flatten the curve.
That one they were wrong. They were wrong on the first one. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just like, oh, this is a new variant, Ehu, that sounds stupid. Don't you worry. Coming straight out of the COVID fucking remix, we got Flu-Rona.
I forgot about Flu-Rona.
You forgot about Flu-Rona.
And when you take one disease and another disease, and those two diseases fuck. And
much like spring break in Miami, which I'm pretty positive is how most STDs were created.
How dare you?
Spring break in Miami. I know you've been to spring break in Miami, and I know you know that's right. Never.
I've been adjacent to it. I haven't partaken. I was older,
and you were married. Yeah. You're like, that's not the main reason why I didn't go.
We can't do that line because they'll charge us $250,000 because it sounds too much like My Sharona.
Even though no one's trying to monetize that fucking song. But yes, Flu-Rona, and no, that is there was a couple cases at the beginning, right, in 2020 and 2021 of people getting the flu, influenza, and also COVID-19.
Yeah,
Coke recipe, original Coke. But now it's no longer just the double combination, which I didn't really know was a possibility in the fucking first place. But now those two viruses have just mouth fucked each other into one virus, and it's fucking Flu-Rona. So there is an influenza COVID-19 hybrid.
I mean, that's cool. Nobody's had the flu this year anyway because of Corona. So at least now the flu
don't test anymore.
Now the flu can make a comeback.
That's what in 2020. Do you want to know how many flu cases we had on Fort Hood?
How many flu cases do you have in Fort Hood?
7 in the year 2020. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a conspiracy. It's not saying that we counted everything as COVID. It's just because since COVID was a thing, we just never tested for the flu. So if you came back negative for COVID, we would just treat the flu instinctively and not test for the flu. But if you tested positive, we didn't worry about the flu.
So I was going for a Pineapple Express bit for the two viruses fucking, But Heather said it much nicer. When one virus loves another virus very much.
No. When one virus hates the human race, and so does the other one.
and the flu's just not doing enough damage,
When one scientist hates America enough and is owned by communist China.
Yeah.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, this is not me saying that this is what happened. I don't know because I'm a fucking idiot. Look at me. Look at me right now. Internet, if anything I've said has pissed you off, guess what? I don't mean any of it, like half of it. And I'm an idiot. I am an idiot.
Just go fuck yourself.
Yes. Also go fuck yourself. Right? I'm a person on the internet, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
You ruined everything. You took away all our validation.
Oh, did I take away all? Did I break the fourth wall? Did I?
did.
I took away all the illusion. But yeah, so that is your COVID update.
Yes.
But there have been people within the Biden administration and many researchers and doctors that are saying that this is really.
I agree.
My
Heather.
eyes
They do
look
pop.
fucking
They
great
pop.
today.
It's the cool lighting.
It
I'm
is,
going
and
for
I think
something
it's also the
warmer to
change-
match my skin tone, but the iciness, it's just
I
wow.
think it's the gray background, and like it looks really good. I'm not one to like point out my fucking on point today. But there have been several people within the Biden administration and also researchers and as well as WHO and the CDC saying that COVID is not going to go away anytime soon, that it is time to start learning to live with it.
Yes,
right.
We're moving toward. We're going from pandemic to endemic.
Even though yesterday, our fearless leader Joe Biden,
Joey Boombox,
aka Joey Boombox, said that it is not about moving on with COVID.
He said,
Several people in his administration said, we just need to learn to live with it. And he came out yesterday and said, we do not need to learn how to live with it. This is not a compliance thing. This is a getting rid of it. I said I would get rid of it, and we're going to get rid of it.
He
like
said
he's going to step into the ring and go 12 rounds with COVID.
He said Donald Trump did not have a plan, and he has a plan. It's a very long plan.
I continue what Donald Trump wrote down. And honestly, most of it was in Crayola, and I can't read it.
His Cliff
anyway.
Notes. It was covered in cocaine. Found it on a golden toilet.
There's a lot of stripper juice on it.
Stripper juice.
That's my new energy drink brand.
It's like when you're thinking about A1 steak sauce and you get that little twinge in your fucking jaw. That's just what happened to me about stripper juice.
That's my new energy drink brand. The underqualified and overcompensated present to you stripper juice. I think we should make that.
We should do that. Everybody delete this episode. This is our idea.
Yeah. We're not going to make anything new. We're just going to take Red Bull and put it into a new can.
Yeah, that's all we're going to do. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of White Monster. Just a smidge.
We're just going to put it in old amp cans. Drink stripper juice. We'll put vitamin C in it.
Yeah, you're going to
and like
it.
else
you get fucking scurvy.
Yeah, some like unknown shit too, like to make people feel like it's like ashwagandha and ginkgo biloba.
It's definitely not how you pronounce that.
Nope, not one. Nope, I got ginkgo, and my fucking mouth had a stroke. Oh, bonobo, like the monkey.
Bilobo, whatever. You're fucking me up now too.
Bonobo,
stripper juice. It's got what you need.
Beautiful. People coming to a 7-Eleven near you.
Coming only to military fucking bases. We're gonna get that contract.
They won't store stripper juice, even though they should.
They got to put it in the paint can section, and people get confused. Oh, this is stripper juice.
Yeah, they would have to hide it in the far back side of the walk-in. It's got electrolytes.
Now with glitter. You just take a fucking swig and you smile, and your teeth are covered in fucking glitter. Edible glitter.
Not even edible.
In the carrying case is edible panties. On that note,
oh my God.
Close out a high note.
We don't always come out with great ideas, ladies and gentlemen, but I think at an hour and 42 minutes into it, we just came out with this shit is going to sell like hotcakes in high schools and also barracks. Stripper juice. We're going to have great flavors like,
sadness, regret, college tuition.
Well, great flavors like 26% APR charger.
Thanks, Austin. Cody is refusing to close us out. He wants to keep it going. He doesn't understand. We'll fall down.
We'll have Step Sergeant Cherry Blast. Also, thick ass specialist.
Close us out before I do.
Sorry, First Sergeant Gomar.
Oh my gosh,
ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching today. If you did watch, if you didn't watch, then you don't get to hear my thanks to you. So go fuck yourself.
Also, listen, you can find us almost anywhere We're on Twitter. We just opened up a Getter to see what it's like. Interesting.
It doesn't sound like what it should.
Getter, I barely know her. We're on fucking YouTube, Facebook, fucking Apple Podcasts,
SoundCloud,
Audible.
Spotify.
I don't know. If you look back to that Russian person that was on here, we're probably on Putin's private network now.
We're on Russian state news.
We're on Mission Report December 16th. Let's go.
We are everywhere. And please go out and find us on whatever platform you end up listening to your podcast. If you are listening to us audio, not always, but sometimes our videos are even better. So go to our Facebook and our YouTube and you can watch us actually face to face, especially when that beautiful, beautiful man, Tyler Firth, is on the show. No, Jesus. Spike Cohen. If I can ever get him back on the fucking show,
he'll be running for president again shortly, and we'll get him back.
I'll reach back out to him. Yeah, but at that point he'll be like, "Who the fuck are these guys?" He won't even remember. I'll have to send him a screenshot of him on screen with us.
We'll have to get the dude from Five Times August again. He's getting pretty militant.
So his fucking tweets lately. We love you though. Your music was great, but you're getting a little rough-skis. Makes me think. A little rough-skis. But
good night, everybody.
Find us on everything that you guys want. We appreciate all your love. We appreciate everyone. Just listen to our nonsense and our debaucherousness, which is a word. Everyone keep doing you.
All words are made up.
Yeah. Just keep doing you. And remember that if the person next to you is doing something different than you, and you might not agree, but it's not fucking hurting you, mind your own fucking business. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Love others. Don't be a cunt. Have a good day. Bye.